By the end of this lesson, you should be able to use method of computing squares to solve a given quadratic equation problem. So, before we use method of computing squares to solve a given problem under quadratic equation, we have some rules to consider. We have some rules. So, the general quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So to use method of computing square to solve a problem in this form, then first you have to make sure that the coefficient of x square is 1. You have to ensure that the coefficient of x square is 1. So if the coefficient of x square is not 1, then you have to divide through by the coefficient of x square for the coefficient to be what? 1. So after dividing through, then you have to send the constant term to the right side of the equation. You have to send the constant term c to the right side of the equation. So after that, then you take your time and find half of the coefficient of this x. Find half of the coefficient of this x. So when you find the half, then you take your time and square your results and add it to the both sides of the equation. So after finding the half and squaring it, then you add it to the both sides. Then you proceed on to form a perfect square at the left side of the equation and simplify your results to get your final answer. So now, let's move on to take a typical example. So, the example 1, we are to use the method of computing squares to solve x squared plus 4s plus 4 equal to 0. So, as I stated earlier, that when you get a problem in this form and you are to use the method of computing squares, you have to ensure that the coefficient of this s square is 1. And here we can clearly see that the coefficient here is what? 1. Then let's move on to the second step. The second step says we should send the constant term. So this 4 is called the constant term. We should send it to the other side of the equation. So now let's move on. So meaning we have x squared plus 4x is equal to negative 4. So meaning we have sent this constant term here to the other side of the equation. So after that, we check the coefficient of this x, and the coefficient of this s is what? 4. Then we find half of 4. Half of 4 is what? Meaning you have to divide 4 by 2. So when you divide 4 by 2, you get what? 2. So meaning the half of 4 is 2. Then you square your result, which is the 2, and add it to the both sides. So meaning we have s squared plus this 4s plus the half of 4, which is the 2. You square it and add it to the both sides like this. So this is the half of the 4. You square it, add to the left and to the right. After that, you have to form the perfect square at the left hand side. So let's check the terms which carry the squares. That's the x and the positive what? 2. So then they form the perfect square like this one, which is equal to negative 4, 2 squared. That's positive 4. So somebody may ask, so where is the 4s? When you take your time and expand this bracket, you get that 4s. So meaning in between the two squares, Therefore, s is also a part. So x power 2 is s squared. X times 2 is 2s times this power. You get 4s. Now you get 2 squared back. So now let's move on. So you have x plus 2 all squared is equal to minus 4 plus 4, which is 0. So on this note, we have to solve for the x. So we should simplify this result to get our value for x. So meaning we have to take square root on both sides like this. So when you take square root, you have x plus 2 is equal to 0. On this note, x is equal to. So meaning the solution set or the truth set is said that x is equal to -2. And this is how to use the method of computing squares to solve this problem. Now let's move on to the second problem. Let's look at the second problem. For the second problem, you have s squared minus s minus 2 equal to 0. So on this note, we have to ensure that the coefficient here is 1 and it is 1. So we have to send the constant to this side. So we have s squared minus s is equal to 2. So after that, we have to check the coefficient of s. The coefficient of this x is -1. So you have to find half of it. When we find half, we get -1/2. Then square your results and add it to the both sides. You have s squared minus s plus -1/2 all square is equal to 2 plus -1/2 all square. So on this note, we are forming the perfect square at the left side. We have x. Don't forget the sign here is -1/2 all square, which is equal to 2 plus 1 square is 1 minus 2 square is what? 4. So meaning we have x minus 1/2 all square, which is equal to 4 by 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1. That's 9 all over 4. All over 4. So on this note, we have to take square root on both sides for us to get the value of what? X. So on this note, we have x minus 1/2 is equal to plus or minus 3 on 2. So square root of a number means two same numbers that will multiply to get the number under the radical sign. So that's why I've brought plus or minus. So it's a root of 25. -5 times -5 is positive 25. And positive 5 times positive 5 is also 25. So this means that it's not only 5 will give you 25, but -5 will also give you 25. So the square root of a number, your result should be in plus or minus. So now let's move on to this side. We have x is equal to s minus 1/2 is equal to plus or minus 3 on 2. So s is equal to, I'm sending this side, this half to this side, 1/2 plus or minus 3/2. So here we have two answers, plus or minus. So first let's go by the addition. So meaning s is equal to 1/2 plus 3/2, which is the like fraction. The denominators are the same. Choose 1 and add the numerators. You get 4. So meaning s is equal to 2 for the first. And the second is s is equal to 1/2 is plus or minus. I'm done with the plus. So now we are moving on to the minus. 3 on 2. So since these fractions are alike, then let's take one denominator, subtract, we get minus of 2. So therefore, our second final answer is -1. So meaning the solution set is, I said that s is equal to -1 and +2. Now this is how to solve the second problem. Now let's look at how to solve the third problem. How to solve the third problem. So we have 4x squared plus 11x plus 7 equal to 0. So to solve this one, you have to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. But here, the coefficient of x squared is 4. So on this note, we have to divide through by 4, this side by 4, this side by 4, this side by 4. So the 4 go to 4, 1. We have x squared plus 11 over 4s plus 7 over 4 equal to 0. So after getting this one, we have to send the constant term to this side. We have s squared plus 11 over 4s is equal to minus 7 on 4. So after this, let's consider the coefficient of this s, which is 11 over 4. Let's find half of it. So we have 11 over 4 times half, which is 11 on 8. So we have our 11 on 8 here. So we have to square it and add it to both sides. We have s squared plus 11 over 4s plus 11 over 8 square is equal to minus 7 over 4 plus 11 over 8 all square. So on this note, let's form our perfect square. Our perfect square is x plus 11 over 8 all square, which is equal to minus 7 over 4 plus 11 square is 121 and 8 square is what? 64. So now we have to add these two. So we have minus 7 on 4 plus 121 over 64. So the LCM here is 64. So 4 goes into 16. 4 goes into 64 is 16 times 7. You have 16 times 7 plus 121. So 16 times 7 is 42. 112. Then you have 112 plus 121 all over 64. So on this note, finally, we get s plus 11 over 8 all square is equal to 9 over 64. So when you add these two fractions, you get 9 over 64. So now let's take square root on both sides. So when you take square root on both sides, we are going to get s plus 11 on 8 is equal to plus or minus 3 over 8. That's root of 9 is 3. Root of 64 is 8. So we have s is equal to minus 11 over 8 plus or minus 3 over 8. So the first answer, going by the plus, minus 11 over 8 plus 3 over 8, which is equal to negative 8 over positive 8. So in the first answer is s is equal to negative 1. Or s is equal to minus 11 over 8 minus 3 over 8, which go to minus 14 on 8, meaning s is equal to minus of 7 over 4. So now this is how to solve this problem. Now let's solve the last problem and move on. So the last problem is we have to find the solution set of x square minus 2 root of 3x plus 3 equal to 0 by using the method of computing squares. So here it's already 1. So let's send the constant to this side. We have x squared minus 2 root of 3x is equal to negative 3. So on this note, we have to find half of this one. Half of the coefficient of x, that's minus root 3. So half times minus of 2 root 3 is minus root 3. Then you square it and add it to the both sides. So now let's square and add. So you have x squared minus 2 root of 3s plus minus of root 3 square equal to minus 3 plus minus of root 3 square. So we are going to get the perfect square here. X minus root 3 all square is equal to minus 3 plus 3. So on this note, I'm going to get s minus root 3 all square equal to 0. So meaning, when you take square root on both sides, s minus root 3 is equal to 0. So therefore, s is equal to root of 3. So meaning s is said that s is equal to root of 3. And now this is how to solve. So now, the example 5 is s squared minus 162x plus 6561. So we have to solve this problem by using the method of computing square. So I will leave this question for you to try your hands on it. So keep on watching this video and don't forget to hit on the notification bell for you to get any updates. Thank you very much for watching.